Everyone walks through life assuming they're just another person in the crowd, but a few begin to notice things that don't quite add up. Certain moments feel different, reality itself seems to bend, and deep within, there's an unshakable feeling that something is waiting to be realized. If you've ever felt this pull, you might be part of the rare few those with a vibrational frequency so distinct, so powerful, that they aren't just ordinary humans playing out an existence. They are chosen, and whether you recognize it or not, the signs have already been revealing themselves to you. The first true vibrational sign is one that most people ignore, but once it's pointed out, it's impossible to unsee. Everything around you, people, places, situations, feel strangely disconnected, almost as if you're living in two realities at once. You engage with the world like everyone else, but underneath, you sense an invisible rhythm guiding everything. Maybe you say something, and suddenly, the exact phrase appears in an article or a conversation nearby. Maybe you feel an unexplained surge of energy when you're near certain people, or even more strangely, they seem to react to your presence in ways that don't make sense. Some are drawn to you for no reason, others instinctively avoid you, as if they can sense something different. But here's where it gets more intense. You notice patterns, sequences, repetitions in your daily life. You think of someone, and they call. You predict an outcome with no logical reason, and it happens exactly as you imagined. This is not coincidence. This is frequency alignment. Your mind, your energy, your presence vibrates at a level that interacts directly with the hidden mechanisms of reality itself. Those who don't understand will say it's chance, but those who know, they recognize the truth. The second vibrational sign is even more undeniable. It's not just something you notice, it's something you feel. The way you connect with emotions, people, and situations is nothing like those around you. Where others react with indifference, you feel an overwhelming surge of intuition. It's not just gut feelings, it's knowing. Walking into a room, you sense the undercurrents of tension before a single word is spoken. Looking into someone's eyes, you grasp emotions they haven't even admitted to themselves. This goes beyond empathy. It's as if you're tapped into something deeper, something ancient, something beyond the limitations of words and logic. And this is where things get complicated. Because you feel things so intensely, the world becomes exhausting.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
The noise, the chaos, the constant bombardment of shallow interactions drains you. There are moments when you physically feel the weight of existence pressing down, as if carrying something that isn't entirely yours. This is where most chosen ones struggle, mistaking this heaviness for personal weakness rather than recognizing it as a symptom of their elevated awareness. But here's the real test: when you withdraw, when you isolate yourself, does the silence feel different? Most people experience loneliness, emptiness. But for those with high vibrational energy, solitude isn't a void, it's a power source. You recharge, ideas flood in, clarity emerges. Time alone doesn't feel like a punishment, it feels like a return to something essential. If solitude brings you peace instead of fear, then your energy is not just different, it's rare. And now, the third sign. This is the one that separates those who suspect they might be different from those who absolutely know. It has nothing to do with the external world, nothing to do with how others treat you. It's entirely internal, yet it governs everything. There is something inside you that refuses to conform, refuses to settle, refuses to accept the script handed to you by society. It's not rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It's not anger. It's a deep, relentless urge to seek something beyond what you're told is possible. You look at the world, and instead of accepting it as it is, you feel an unshakable certainty that things are not as they seem. You feel pulled towards knowledge, experiences, truths that others dismiss as fantasy or absurdity. Maybe you've questioned reality itself, questioned your own existence, questioned why certain things feel so fundamentally wrong, even when everyone else blindly follows along. This is the point where most people either wake up or shut down. The pressure of being different, of seeing beyond the illusion, is overwhelming. Some people turn it off, force themselves into the mold, pretend they don't feel the pull. But those who are truly chosen, those who carry the highest vibrational frequencies, cannot ignore it. It calls them in dreams, in quiet moments, in the way life refuses to let them be comfortable with mediocrity. And this is where it all connects. If you felt all three of these signs, then your path is not an accident. The world will try to convince you otherwise, make you doubt, make you feel like you're lost, like you're imagining it all. But deep inside, you already know. You always have. And here's where things get even stranger. If all of this resonates with you, if you've recognized these signs within yourself, then there's one final realization that changes everything. It's not just about recognizing who you are, it's about understanding what comes next. Because once you see it, once you know for sure that you are one of the rare few, the entire way you interact with life shifts. And this is where most people make the critical mistake. They assume knowing is enough. But knowing without action is the same as never knowing at all. So the real question is, what do you do with this awareness? Knowing you're different isn't enough. Seeing the signs, feeling the pull, sensing the invisible pattern shaping reality, none of it matters if you don't understand the hidden law that governs chosen ones. This is where most people go wrong. They recognize something powerful within them, but mistake recognition for mastery. They assume that just because they see beyond the surface, life will automatically align in their favor. But the truth is brutal. The universe doesn't care what you see. It only responds to what you do with that sight. The law is simple yet ignored by almost everyone. Energy flows in the direction of commitment. Most chosen ones never reach their full power because they hesitate. They linger in the space between knowing and acting, trapped in a cycle of doubt, questioning, waiting for more signs, more validation, more proof that they're on the right path. But the universe doesn't work that way. It only reacts to force. The moment you hesitate, it hesitates with you. The moment you move, it moves with you. The real mistake isn't ignorance, it's passivity. Those who are chosen but never fully step into their roles suffer more than anyone else. They live in constant frustration, feeling the weight of something immense inside them but never seeing it materialize in the world. They attract experiences that feel just out of reach, relationships that almost make sense, moments that nearly confirm everything but always slip through their fingers at the last second. This isn't an accident. It's because they are stuck in the in-between. They want proof before commitment, but commitment is the proof itself. This is the hidden law. The moment you fully act, without waiting for reassurance, everything changes. Reality shifts, energy aligns, things that once seemed impossible unfold rapidly. But this is the hardest step because it requires a level of certainty that has nothing to do with external validation. Most people fail here. They think they need confidence first, but confidence is a byproduct of action. They think they need clarity, but clarity comes from movement. They think they need a plan, but real plans only reveal themselves once you begin. Those who succeed do something radically different. They step forward without knowing, without guarantees, without certainty. They make a decision so absolute that it forces the universe to respond. And this is why chosen ones either become legends or fade into regret, because the law does not reward potential, it rewards execution. The second reason most fail is even more dangerous: distraction. The world is designed to keep chosen ones from realizing their power. Everything around you is engineered to pull your focus away from what truly matters. The moment you begin to wake up, distractions intensify. Meaningless obligations, shallow relationships, endless entertainment, pointless arguments, constant noise, all designed to drain your energy and keep you too exhausted to pursue what actually matters. And here's the worst part: the distractions aren't random. They are tailored to you. Whatever has the highest chance of keeping you off course will be placed directly in your path. The more powerful your potential, the stronger the distractions. The mind-numbing job that pays just enough to keep you stuck. The relationship that isn't bad but isn't right. The friend group that doesn't actively drag you down but subtly reinforces mediocrity. None of these things seem dangerous, but they are the deadliest traps because they don't destroy you, they delay you. And delay is the only way to defeat a chosen one. The greatest threat isn't failure, it's comfort. Because failure wakes you up, forces you to adjust, makes you stronger. But comfort keeps you in the same place for years, even decades, slowly draining the fire out of you, until one day you look back and realize the signs were there. The path was open. The power was within you the entire time, but you never moved. The hidden law is merciless. It rewards only those who refuse to be delayed. The chosen ones who rise are the ones who recognize that waiting for the perfect moment is the biggest lie of all. The perfect moment doesn't exist. There is only now, and if you aren't acting now, you never will. There's one final truth about this law that most people don't want to hear. It doesn't care about fairness. It doesn't care about how much potential you have, how many signs you've seen, how deeply you feel your calling. The only thing that matters is the energy you put out. Some people with less talent, less vision, less understanding will still surpass those who were meant for more simply because they move. This is the harshest lesson for chosen ones. The universe does not pick favorites. It only follows power. And power is generated through absolute, unwavering action. If you hesitate, if you wait, if you let yourself be distracted, someone else, someone less equipped, someone with less awareness, someone who should not be ahead of you, will take the opportunities meant for you. And they will win, not because they were better, but because they moved when you didn't. So now the real question is not whether you are chosen. You already know the answer to that. The real question is whether you will do what most fail to do, whether you will step forward before you feel ready, before you have guarantees, before the world gives you permission. Because if you don't, nothing will happen. Not because you aren't powerful, not because you aren't meant for more, but because the hidden law only rewards those who act. There is only one decision that determines everything. One single moment where you either separate from the masses and become something else entirely, or fade into the background like everyone who almost made it but didn't. Most people think it's about talent, intelligence, circumstances, or even luck. But none of that matters. The real difference comes down to a choice so simple most ignore it. It's the moment where you decide with absolute certainty that you will never turn back. Not when it gets hard, not when you feel lost, not when doubt creeps in, not when everything around you seems to be falling apart. Because it will. Everything will test you. The more power you hold, the more resistance you will face. And this is what separates the ones who rise from the ones who fade. Those who fade always have an escape plan, a backup option, a way out. They say they're committed, but there's always a silent unless. Unless it gets too difficult, unless it takes too long, unless it costs too much, unless they have to give up things they secretly hope they could keep. And this is why they never make it. Because commitment with conditions is not commitment at all. The ones who rise don't just decide to move forward, they eliminate every alternative. They don't wait for the perfect time, they make now the time. They don't wait for permission, they act as if they already have it. They don't wait for guarantees, they step as if failure doesn't exist. This is the moment that changes everything, because when you truly have no way back, the universe bends in your favor. When you fully commit, your energy shifts so violently that reality has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your frequency. Most people will never experience this because they are too afraid to burn the bridges that lead back to comfort. They cling to familiar patterns, safe options, backup plans that silently tell the universe they aren't fully in. And the universe listens. It mirrors their hesitation, their doubt, their half-hearted effort. They keep waiting for a sign that says, yes, this is guaranteed to work, but that's not how it works. The guarantee only appears after you've committed, never before. This is why the majority fail. Not because they aren't capable, not because they aren't chosen, but because they never reach the point where failure is impossible, not because success is certain, but because quitting no longer exists as an option. The ones who rise do something that seems insane to everyone else. They jump with no safety net, no fallback, no second option. They put themselves in a position where the only way out is forward. They create a level of pressure so intense that success becomes inevitable, not because it's easy, but because survival depends on it. And here's the paradox: the moment they do this, everything begins to flow in their favor. What once seemed impossible starts happening effortlessly. The connections, the breakthroughs, the opportunities, they don't appear until after the decision is made. And here's why most never experience it. They are addicted to comfort. Even those who say they want more still secretly crave security. They want the reward but aren't willing to risk the loss. They want the success but don't want to let go of the version of themselves that isn't ready for it. And this is the trap. Because to rise, you have to kill every version of yourself that isn't fully committed. You have to let the old identity, the hesitant self, the one who overthinks, the one who overthinks, the one who second guesses, the one who plays small, you have to let it die. Not gradually, not eventually, but instantly. In one decision. And this is where most fail, because they hesitate at the edge. They feel the pull. They know they should leap, but they hold back just enough to keep one foot in their old life. And that hesitation costs them everything. The universe doesn't reward the halfway committed. It doesn't respond to those who try to negotiate their way into power. It only moves for those who step forward without hesitation, without escape plans, without a single thought of going back. This is why the chosen ones either become legends or remain invisible. Not because they lack the ability, but because they never truly commit. And the truth is harsh. You already know which group you're in. The ones who rise don't need more signs. They don't wait for external proof. They don't ask whether they're ready. They decide they are. And from that moment on, reality bends to match their decision. The only question that remains is whether you are truly willing to make that decision. Because if you aren't, then nothing will change. Not because you aren't meant for more, but because the universe only moves for those who have already moved.